I am currently at the location where Easy Green and Dog Red of Omaha Beach meet. Come to this specific point for a very specific reason. One day I was just digging around U.S. National Archive because they have some of the best digitization of records, footage, all that good stuff. I came across this piece from one Major Stanley Bach in the U.S. Army. Right around here where Bach comes ashore. He was a member of the 1st U.S. Infantry Division, attached to the advanced headquarters of 29th. And they all came right around here. And he recorded everything he saw when he touched down at 10:10 in the morning. They move on as straight ahead. There's an opening in between the cliffs. However, Bach talks about going up the beach and it being a washing fire. All kinds of things happening, trucks exploding, deuce and a halfs exploding, all kinds of things like that. But he talks about having to get up the cliffs. So I'm thinking he's over here somewhere. Potentially. Because this is where he said he came ashore. He said he came ashore at Dog Green, which is in this direction. So at one point, though, he does mention visiting the advanced headquarters of 29th, which was put somewhere in the Le Moulin draw. Not sure where. Maybe one of these rooms. Maybe in one of the old positions. I don't know. It's not very clear. He's not clear. But he kind of goes all over the place around here. He heads up the cliffs. He comes back down at one point because he's leading troops up there, across the beach, across the plateaus up there, and the shingle. Through, he says knee-deep water, so that's probably an anti-tank ditch that's been filled. And then up the cliffs, probably up that way. It is rather intense, the things he's describing. Speech tanks getting hit, LCTs hitting mines off the shore, getting hit by artillery, exploding, men being launched in the air, men not making it across the shingle on top, which does, of course, not look like it did on the day. It's very much changed now. Men not getting out of the foxholes, getting mortared, and then the intense fighting up the cliff. And the memorial to the 1st and 29th seems to literally mark the line between Dog Green and Easy Red. So the etching on the 29th side is a little hard to make out, but it says erected in memory of those, the 116th Regimental Combat Team, 29th Infantry Division, AUSA, I assume that means U.S. Army, landed here June 6, 1944. Has depictions of them coming ashore. Holding what looked to be modern M16s, which is confusing. And then some crests over here that have been rather worn by time and bullets. So this side is for the 1st Infantry Division. It says 1st U.S. Infantry Division, no mission too difficult, no sacrifice too great, duty first. Forced Omaha Beach at dawn, June 6th. So here's the black beach here. Shows the sectors, various museums and things of that nature, and the cemetery. here again is Les Moulins Draw. This is where two divisions came together, intermixed in a lot of ways at the two sectors, which I think are split by evenly by this road. I assume it's these cliffs opposite Easy Green that he has to, because this is where he says he comes ashore and then works his way up here to the shingle and to the cliffs. So now I'm right in behind the actual beach itself. Right, this is the modern seawall. And there's this area has homes and the like, they're new, and this area would have been the shingle that they had to clear in the open to get up to the cliffs in that direction. So I'm going to work my way over there and see what we can see down one of these streets and see what's left of what Bach described on that day. So I'm now walking towards the cliffs up this direction. Beach is directly behind me. Easy Green Beach, dog red. You can still hear the sounds of the waves as you're walking past. Of course, the beach is extremely difficult, but I mean, it doesn't get any easier moving up towards this. Right, it just gets worse in a lot of ways for a lot of guys because they have to clear this way up here. It's full of all kinds of defenses, anti-tank ditches that have been flooded. There's some water running up here, or at least there used to. I don't think anymore because there's all these homes now between here and the cliff. So I don't think any of that stuff is left. But you get to the cliffs, you can see it's a lot thicker forest now in certain parts, hedges and the like. So we're gonna walk our way up here and see if we can see anything. This is Les Moulins right here, in the road. You can see maybe the tops of some vehicles going by. Is the split and why the town is here and why it was one of the targets for the landings. It's a way to get out off the beach. So it seems I was wrong about the water. It's still running along here, and probably drainage ditch. I don't know if it's redirected, but there is still some water here running up this way, because Bach talks about being knee deep in water at one point in some swampy land. I mean, maybe it's been filled in now, but there's still water coming down from the cliffs. So I'm just at the base of the cliffs here, looking back towards the beach. There's a little beach bathroom, bar, restaurant thingy there. Looking out again towards Easy Green. And as you can see, the cliffs are pretty overgrown. I don't think they were this overgrown on the day. I think it was more scrub than this. But again, any sort of elevation like this in the fire is never easy. Yeah, I hope that sound's coming through, because again, it's loud of the water running down the cliff. It's very wet along here. I mean, a lot of it's been paved, so it's just going right off. But that wouldn't have been the case on the day. So I was working my way back to Lake Vermont again. So private drive at the end of this road. So looks like a lot of people are getting their vacation homes, rental homes, whatever, ready for the season, but probably for the 6th. It's going to be probably quite busy all along here. I know on the Bernays, Corsol, everything, it's going to be wild, but I assume the American and British beaches are no different, if not more people. So yeah, so just trying to get the best idea I can, but this area has changed quite a bit. I mean, as a lot of you know, I'm no Omaha expert. I'm not an American historian. I did as much digging as I could on Bach himself. It's just not so much. I've only really seen those accounts kind of thrown up on like Wikimedia, and it was in the National Archive, but never really seen it referenced in any books. I mean, I could have missed. There's a few I didn't look at. The more recent stuff, maybe it was in there, but I just didn't get anything from it. So I thought this was kind of a underserved story in an area that is heavily studied and known and very popular. So just trying to do something a little different. So looking again, that's the opposite side of the kind of valley there. It is Les Moulins and Dog Red sector to the right here of this road, and then into the main area with the memorials. It gives you kind of a good idea what it probably looked like. It was more scrubby. I mean, it's a little more manicured. There's been some trees and stuff. But I could be wrong, and if I am wrong, I don't think it looked like this. I mean, it was swampy, but at least that's what the maps say. If anybody knows better, I'd love to hear. Because getting an idea now, it's so changed. I mean, there's parts of Juno Beach that have changed a lot, but this is really rather drastic changes, right, in terms of homes and stuff. Like, he makes one mention of one building at the time that gets pummeled because there's a sniper or something operating out of it. I mean, a lot of troops use sniper. I mean, anyone taking shots at you, but something was in there, or someone, and they started to level that thing. So, not sure which one that is, but it's around here somewhere. Here's just another view of the cliffs that are behind Easy Green. And then, of course, the cliffs behind Dog Red are on this side. And that's the main draw into LaVigne. So straight ahead is WN68, has positions for artillery and machine guns. This is the best angle I can get. It's behind a fence, barbed wire fence. I'm not gonna be messing with that. So again, the beach is down that way. And here we go. So in the original video, it talks about how the beach becomes jammed up with vehicles, and it's closed to vehicles very early in the landings because of the chaos. This is one of the reasons. It's in control of the whole passageway through here, right? The trees and stuff weren't here. It would obscure the lines of fire. So this is what causes the chaos, allows everything to back up, and then the beach just becomes filled with targets for artillery further on inland, as well as in here, because they can hit straight across, right? That's the whole idea, is hit them in the enfilade, have your strongest point towards the beach, so it can't hit you from naval fire. And that's what's happening here, because the Bach describes everything from rifle fire, mortars, artillery, machine guns, everything is just pummeling the beach. So stuff like that would have come from here or further back inland up this height, which I will go around the corner on. So just looking across here from just up the hill from WN68, you can see the tree line, and then you can see the canola. Like, that's the crest, right? And at one point Bach's talking about digging in just below the crest. So I think right where the canola starts there off in the distance is possibly along that line that he's talking about. It's all private property and all blocked off, so you can't really get up there. But that would make perfect sense, the what position he's talking about, because it still has a bit of a dip. Whereas over here, not as much, but there is some along here. So I'll go up over that ridge line there and see what I can see, but I still think it's up over this side. It's hard to say, because this is quite the mix-up of troops, right? So hard to say which is which. So this is an even better vantage point at the top of the other side here on LaVigne towards the west. You can see that field full of canola. And then there's that dip again, working their way up. Now I don't know if there's a strong point along there. There might be, but I'm not entirely sure. Again, not my down to the detail specialty, but this is the valley. And LaVigne is to the left. And you can see the water just over these hedges. So looking straight ahead in that foreground there by that greenish, light greenish big pot is that artillery position halfway up the hill on, I think it's called Route June 6th, 44 or something like that. Can't remember off the top of my head. Something like that, something to do with D-Day. So there's that main road up here. And that's one of the concrete positions blocking the valley, thus stopping those vehicles from getting off and causing all kinds of confusion. And then there you can just sort of see the beach between those two buildings. So it's quite the distance to cover, especially at low tide. But all kinds of things in here to stop and advance. So I work my way up from the bunker around through the path, farmers' fields, looking down at the memorials and all of that, and the main square there, the main parking area. So you have Easy Green on that side, Dog Red on this side. Moving that way, more and more beach, Dog Green and all that, way down there. So this is quite the vantage point to see what Bach and all of those troops were dealing with on this side, right? This is quite the position to be taking, and you can see there's some flat ground on this side. Same as on the other side. So you still have to contend with whatever's down there, and it's quite swampy. You saw the water and everything leaking on the other side. So, wouldn't have been easy and covered with fire and barbed wire and all of that fun stuff. So, this is quite the view. Quite to see a good chunk of Omaha Beach, right? You can see the end of it way out there. Really need to get a better lens if I'm going to be doing this stuff. But it's right there. You can see the cliffs kind of go. Start again right at the beach. A little bit of sand in the distance. And then the cliffs continue, which is a good chunk of it all the way to Gold and Aramosh. This is why the area that it is, and why it's picked. Because you need to get off the beach. Getting the beach doesn't do any good if you're not any way to get off of it. So this again is the area Bach and all of those troops are having to deal with. Again, all these houses aren't here. This is wide open. Very little cover other than the beach defenses, which don't offer much because that's not their point, right? Bach talks about the teller mines and everything like that, and the issues when the tide's coming up. And there are people in the water, and I am here mid-April. That's brave. Kudos to them. So this is quite the vantage point, and not too hard to get to. So just another vantage point of Charlie Beach way in the distance, dog green, dog white, dog red moving our way along, continuing to dog red. Split there with the memorials, I guess, is roughly where the sector split, and then easy green moving on. So very interested in the area where Bach landed to tell that story, because that primary document is all historians ever want, is recorded right then and there. That's what he did. So getting that story, hopefully getting that story more known, is something